Alright, listen man, I'm not sure if this is volume 4 or 5 or what, but if I pick a number now, I can just make the numbers one bigger as I go up the chain, man. I'm not a mathematician, but I am a better commander, dude. And if there's one thing I love to do, it's to take a break, go back in time, and talk about commanders that are come and gone in the deluge of products in the last couple years. Let's calm down a little bit. We're going to talk about 5 slapping sleepers that you can build on a dang budget. But first, if you enjoy the sweet decks that come out of my mind and face, like the video, subscribe, hit up the Patreon if you want. I got a Discord filled with awesome dudes in there, and I have YouTube memberships below. But don't worry, brother, all my stuff is free. You can get it all, man. I know this economy is garbage. Oh, and listen, also register to vote, alright? Learn about your candidates and vote, brother. It's vitally important. It's your civic duty, alright? Let's dive in. Zara, Renegade Recruiter, 3 blue and a red, legendary creature, human pirate. It's a 4/3. Has flying. Whenever this thing attacks, look at defending player's hand. You may put a creature card from it onto the battlefield under your control, tapped and attacking that player or a planeswalker they control. Return that creature to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. Dang, dude, this is 11 cents for this gorgeous lady. She's out there on the pirate ship driving all those pirates crazy, man. And this deck involves some serious theft. It's Grand Theft Auto out there. So you've got all these commander decks out there in the wild where you're stacking ETB effects, and that sweet spot is usually about 7 mana. Lean into that theft mechanic, man. It's a free ETB. And you know what? You get that big fatty out of your opponent's hand, sack it for value. Pack in some free sacrifice engines like Goblin Bombardment or something like that. Or snag that creature permanently with some sweet blink effects like Ghostly Flicker. It's 2 and a blue for an instant. Exile 2 target artifacts, creatures, and or lands you control. Return those cards to the battlefield under your control. You get to keep them. Most of these say under their owner's control, so make sure you read the damn card, you silly goose. Conjurer's Closet, Thassa Deep Dwelling, they kind of do the same thing, but they're pricey cards, man. Stack your deck with clones of creatures you control. Get double the fun with cards like Mirror Image. You can have this guy enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature you control. Cheap little clone lizard dude. He's a cute little guy, man. You also have cards like Quasi Duplicate, Cackling Counterpart. These are great in a deck where you're stealing creatures. Listen, Zara is a fun, juicy little commander. Cheap, makes a real mess out of the battlefield. Clone decks are a lot of fun, man. Speaking of which, how about Obama of the East Tree? This guy's 4 green, a legendary creature spirit. It's a 6/6, has reach. Whenever another permanent you control enters, if it wasn't put onto the battlefield with this ability, you may put a permanent card with equal or lesser mana value from your hand onto the battlefield as partner. So I'm cheating a little bit here because this guy has partner. But if you put out a clone of, say, a 7 mana creature, right, with a clone spell, let's just say clone for instance, it copies the mana value. That's a copyable attribute. So you cast a 4 mana spell, you get to put the 7 mana spell onto the battlefield from your hand. This guy's insane, man. I did build exactly that, just a fun little clone deck with Kraum as the partner. I'm going to post a deck list, but it's pretty wide open. You can basically make any 2 or 3 color combo with this guy and go ham, brother. This was pretty pricey, but now it's under $3. Reading this guy's ability makes it really nuts. Play a land, put out another land. Make a token, slap out a land. It's a nutso card. Even at 6 mana, it's a ton of fun in the command zone. And how about this guy, Satoru Umezawa? This guy's 1 black and a blue, legendary creature, human ninja. It's a 2/4. Whenever you activate a ninjutsu ability, look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand, the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. This ability triggers only once each turn, alright? Each creature card in your hand has ninjutsu, 2 blue and a black. Okay, so maybe this guy isn't a sleeper, right? He's got 10,000 decks on EDH Rec and is number 74 in popularity. But we gotta give this guy the credit he deserves, alright? He's a hot cyberpunk dude. He's got that motorcycle from Akira in the garage back there. He's got the dancing spirits of old Japan, or Kamigawa, whatever. This fella is all about ninjutsuing out a big fatty, man. It's not that deep, brother. Put out the small evasive creatures and ninjutsu out some damn Eldrazi. Now, if you're on a budget, and I know you are, you can do this guy pretty cheap, man. You don't need to go all out on super expensive monsters. You can slot in those big cheap Timmy cards that we all love and want to cheat out. It's pretty wide open too. You got Demon Tribal out there. You have Sphinx Tribal, Eldrazi Tribal, brother. Big Flying Dude Tribal, whatever you want. Just know that this fella is going to be a massive target. Massive, alright? Oh well, we can get murked, Go have some quesadillas. And then, of course, we have Myrkul, Lord of Bones. This guy's 4 white, black, and a green. Legendary creature, god, it's a 7/5. As long as your life total is less than or equal to half your starting life total, this guy is indestructible. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, you may exile it. If you do, create a token that's a copy of that card, except it's an enchantment and loses all other card types. Lord of Bones, man, that was my nickname back in college, dude. Just kidding, alright? Don't cancel me, bro. Now, I did make a Myrkul deck. I played one game, never played it again. We played on TTS, but it was a $45 budget deck, man, and leaned on aristocrat enchantment payoffs. Now, listen, there's some interesting things you can do making creatures into enchantments, like Devoted Druid here. 1 in a green creature elf druid, it's a 0/2, has tap, add green. Put a -1/-1 counter on it, untap it. Make this guy an enchantment. You can fuel whatever else you want to do with infinite green mana. Now, this is a little mean, but check out the Cinderhaze Wretch out there. 4 in a black, creature elemental shaman, it's a 3/2. Has tap, target player discards a card. Activate only during your turn. Put a -1/-1 counter on Cinderhaze Wretch, untap it. Man, make this guy an enchantment. You're making sure nobody else gets to play more than 1 card per turn cycle. They go into top deck mode. It's kind of mean, to be honest. There are other things you can do, but the cool part about this guy, the Lord of Bones, is that you get to double dip your effects when you're sacrificing creatures. Things that benefit from lots of enchantments, like the old Sanctum Weaver out there, make for some big mana generation. Myrkul is kind of a classic setup commander. You need lots of pieces. You need aristocrats, you need drain, you need sack outlets, you need fodder, but it's a very unique deck that also leans into enchantments. Aristocrat enchantments plus this dude looks awesome. You can't lose. Oh yeah, you want a dinosaur mutant? What kind of a monster are you? A Dominix Rex, an alpha male that's a monster masculinity, dude. It's got 1 and 2 hybrid black and blue and 2 green. For a legendary creature dinosaur mutant, it's a 6/6, so that's 5 mana total for a 6/6. As this guy enters, discard any number of creature cards. It enters with a flying counter on it if a card discarded this way has flying. The same is true for First Strike, Double Strike, Death Touch, Hexproof, Haste, Indestructible, Lifelink, Menace, Reach, Trample, and Vigilance. When this guy enters, draw a card for each counter on it, man. You're refilling your hand. Oh my god. And also, this doesn't specify what kind of counters, man. If you're stacking +1/+1 counters, that also works. It's like you're assembling a monster, you're Frankensteining out there, dude. Always pack protection when you're Frankensteining, alright? I learned that the hard way. Reminds me of Cathril, the Aspect Warper, a little bit, but has discard payoffs, like the old Bone Miser here. Whenever you discard a creature card, create a little 2/2 black zombie creature token. That's not bad, man, I guess. You also have cards like Archfiend of Ifnir, 3 black creature demon. It's a 5/4 with flying. Whenever you cycle or discard another card, put a -1/-1 counter on each creature your opponents control. So listen, man, you're making a pretty beefy graveyard, so you're going to lean into a Reanimator too. I really dig this card. Reminds me of Mimeoplasm, which you should also put in that deck. This card's rad, man. Don't sleep on it. And that's that, dude. 5 quick sleeper commanders. 5 sleeper commanders. Some deck lists are going to be in the description, man. You got a lot going on in your life, brother. I know that's true, man. So take time to enjoy yourself. Enjoy your family. Enjoy this little kiss I'm going to blow you right now. That's brotherly love, dude. That's platonic, manly, brotherly love. All right? Love thy neighbor, but get consent first, because you don't want to end up in prison, brother. And that's Nikki G, signing off from the big house.